Hello, this is Aaron with Yesterday's Games, and today we're going to be talking about a game called Dishonored, and we're going to start right now. Today we're going to take a look at a game called Dishonored that was released back in October 2012 and has a sequel that came out recently. And you take the role of Corvo Attano, who's the disgraced bodyguard to the Empress, and I don't think it's spoiling too much to say that you are betrayed and framed for her death. And you decide how to proceed in light of that in an interesting take on a late 19th century London. Now there's spoilers ahead, which I know is a bit of an odd thing to say for a game this old, but going into it, I didn't know anything about it, and so if you find yourself in that position too, I would say skip ahead and go to the summary. Otherwise, onwards. So choices. It's not quite as Skyrim level in its choices, but you play an existing character, and you have a big role in how the story progresses. Your lethality or lack thereof will change the way certain characters relate to you and what the eventual outcome of the game is, and I really like that. In an interview with Kotaku, Rafael Colatino, co-creative director and founder of Arcane Studios, says, "And I made the decision near the end of the project, if you played very darkly, you not only killed to get to your goal, but you also went out of your way to kill the maids and everybody else. Then at the very end of the game, Samuel Beechworth, the old man who's been driving your boat around, he basically says, 'I despise you for what you become.' And he pulls out a flare gun, and he fires it, and he says, 'That's why I'm warning them that you're coming.' He betrays you. And we've got so much pressure to cut that from the game. Everybody just wants to be told in a video game that you're great, no matter what you do. If you slaughter everybody, you killed the maids, you killed the old people, you killed the beggars, you're great, here's the medal, you're a hero." We decided that sounds psychotic. And I love the guts that it takes to do that to players. It emphasizes that yes, you can play in any way that you want, but that has consequences. Just because you have all these ways to kill people doesn't mean that you should. And it really brings the world to life because it's not the typical game universe applauding you and rewarding you no matter what the behavior is. And when I first started my playthrough, I had none of this context. I didn't know that there was this system in place, and I didn't know that any of this would happen. So after breaking my way out of the prison on the first level, I killed my way through the guards, which I thought was no big deal. You know, you're an assassin, it's what you do. And while escaping into the next level, you're passed by some guards, and they're talking about how you murdered your way through them and that you must be guilty of killing the Empress because look how easily you just killed through all these people you were recently working with, because you were the Lord Protector, the Guardian. And wow, I mean, to be honest, I didn't want that. I reloaded a save to start over. Corvo felt real. His situation felt realistic and honest to me. So, how does it feel to be Corvo? So Dishonored is a first-person shooter with a very natural feeling control and mechanics. If you've played any in the last 5 years to 10 years, you'll know how it'll play out. And if you decide that you do need to spill some blood, then there's a myriad of ways to do so. But it also has solid stealth mechanics, and there's a novel way that it has to let you know if a guard has noticed you. They've got a little awareness thing around them. The city of Dunwall feels gritty, dirty, and believable. Researching for this article, I found that they'd based it off of an 18th and 19th century London, Edinburgh kind of setting, and having lived near Edinburgh myself, I can attest to the feel of the cities being excellent. For me, the fictional city of Dunwall evokes the feel you get winding through the cramped closes of Edinburgh's Royal Mile. The choice system, though, really makes the story come alive. And even if the storyline isn't winning any awards, it feels like your choices matter. And the characters respond to how you choose to complete your missions. A later mission has you eliminating the two Pendleton twins, and you're working for their brother Trevor. The one on your side has obvious hesitations of killing his brothers, but they go along with it because they're major antagonists to the story. And I won't spoil the non-lethal solution, but Trevor comes back to you in a later mission and thanks you for not killing them in a heartfelt way. Basically, I know they're evil, but they're still my brothers, and thank you for not killing them. And I was honestly able to connect with the characters and the way that I played through the game because of this. And I spent a lot of time reloading saves to beat the game with the non-lethal achievement, and I was last working towards a never been detected and non-lethal, no alarms raised playthrough. It's left me in this strange position that I'm actually a bit appalled if I kill anyone in the game, even though it's clearly there's been a lot of work put into the methods for doing so. Let's talk the technical stuff for a minute. So Dishonored was released on October 9th in 2012, and it's still a pretty nice looking game. The art style lends itself well to aging gracefully, and my laptop now is pretty decent, but running the game on the integrated graphics, which are an Intel HD 4600, I can get playable frame rates, which are about 40 plus at 768. So everything else is on the lowest settings, and it definitely is not the highest quality, but for me it's always been about how the game plays, the interaction with the characters and the like. So having the graphics be top notch was not something that was that big of a deal for me. Dishonored is still very much worth it in my book if you can get playable frame rates on it. So if you have an integrated graphics that are newer than the one that I had, they have improved every year drastically. So I think you're going to be able to run Dishonored appreciably well. And in summary, Dishonored is a compelling story with good gameplay mechanics, a low enough barrier of entry and price, and system requirements that it should be one of the single-player games you add to your collection. I went into it knowing precisely nothing about the game or the story, and I would advise anyone else in that position to jump in and enjoy the ride. I knew I grew to really like Corvo and his struggle by the end of it, and I hope you do too. Hey, so thanks for stopping by and giving this a watch. If you liked it, make sure to subscribe so you can see more videos when they come out on our channel. And be sure to check out our blog. Link is in the description below to see the written version of this if you're at work or otherwise, or you just want to see what else we were able to write about it. Enjoy.